dramatic descent down the range and Forsayth.
that were on here for about 100 metres is a pretty, I think it's a pretty interesting bit of railway, not something you see a lot of. I'm sure many of you have been on trains before, yeah? You've probably been on a train that goes over a river, and you've probably been on a train that runs beside a river. Some of you may have been overseas and on one of them trains that goes under a river. But you don't normally get trains just go in the river. And that's what happened here. They got here for about 100 metres. The track was laid directly on the riverbed. Probably should have built a bridge. No idea why they didn't. We've all got our own little theories, but no real idea. So the minute it's raining, this goes underwater straight away, and you know, this is why we would get stuck in Forsayth. So that being the riverbed is pretty much the bottom of the Newcastle range. We climb out of that. We've got a little bit of undulating ground to cover, but not too far away. We're going to come into Forsayth. Now, as far as Forsayth goes, the earliest record that we can find of settlement in the area goes back to, I think it's 1871. The settlement in the area at that time was called Finnegan's Rest. Sorry, I lied. Finnegan's Camp. Finnegan's Rest is what accommodation is called today. It's called Finnegan's Camp. Now, we don't know much about this Finnegan character. You just let our imagination go to town on that. So I'm picturing a little tiny fellow with a red hair and a ginger beard with like a green top hat and a jacket. And he's worried about people taking his lucky charms. I don't know. But Finnegan's out here. He's come across gold and he had a few mates with him. So it was called Finnegan's Camp. But they had to report that to the government, and about 6 months later, so many people had turned up to look for the gold that now there was enough people to warrant a township. At which point it then got rechristened Charleston. So that was the first township name. We're not entirely sure where the Charleston name came from either. But the Charleston township was doing pretty well, you know. It was a gold town. Gold towns at that time were fantastic, so lots of people were coming in looking for gold. That brought money, that brought business. Everything you needed in Charleston was there. As the years went on, a little bit of gold was found in surrounding areas, so almost a couple of suburbs popped up. There was a North Charleston and a West Charleston. And for the best part of 40 odd years, these three little Charleston townships were doing fantastically. Archibald Smith Frew was plotting that path for the railway. Once again, not entirely sure, but he didn't like where any of these three Charleston townships were. I've been over there. The local copper took me over on a motorbike and sort of showed me where they used to be. It is hilly country, so maybe getting the railway there just was going to be problematic. I'm not sure. Whatever it was, Archibald Smith Frew said to him, look, I'd love to bring the railway here, but it's not going to happen. And we're going to bring the railway instead a few kilometres over this way to the left. And he said, it's totally up to you what you guys want to do. They all got together and they did think pretty realistically about it. Wherever this railway ended up, chances are a township was going to pop up around it, because that's what happens. The railway means goods are coming in and out, so businesses want to be close to that, and the township follows. The reality was that a township at the end of the railway and these three Charleston townships being so close together, that's probably not going to work. And over time, these Charleston townships would probably phase out as more and more people relocated over to where the railway was. So everyone in these Charleston towns, they all agreed with that, and they all decided to get a head start. And they picked everything up and relocated everything to where Archibald Smith Frew said the railway was going to be. They rebuilt the lot, and they called themselves New Charleston. They had a big imagination on it. And it kept that name for about 12 months. Once the railway got there, the government renamed the area Forsayth after James Forsayth Fallon. He was a commissioner of the railways back in the day. I don't entirely know why they named it after him. I mean, that's what they did, but I have a tendency to think that maybe the railway was upset, the government was upset, they didn't want the railway to come here in the first place. This township should have never existed, so maybe they're like, oh, well, look, you know, we'll turn lemons into lemonade and we'll name the township after our boss. That'll keep him out. So James Forsayth Fallon did alright for himself because he got Forsayth named after him and he got Fallon named after him, which is sort of southwest Queensland, so he did okay. Now, gold is why people turned up here to begin with, and it is still why people turn up here now. Forsayth's pretty quiet for most of the year, but then once it gets cool for about 3 or 4 months, prospectors turn up from absolutely everywhere. They come and take out a lease and they head out onto one of the surrounding properties for the day, try and strike it lucky. Now, a very common question is, oh, how much gold do they find? I've got no idea. Have you ever tried to talk to a prospector about the gold that they find, how much and where they find it? They don't tell you that. I've probably got prospectors on board, I shouldn't talk too bad about them. But they can be secretive. So in my 10 years, I've probably only had about 2 or 3 people that were willing to, you know, really sit down and talk to me about it. One bloke even reached into his pocket one night at the pub and just pulled out a handful of little nuggets. Checked it out. But one local fellow, he's not here now, but he lived here for about 8 years. And he was doing pretty well. He was averaging between 70 to about 100 ounces of gold a year, so he was doing alright for himself. Out of a 4-day trip. And to tell you the truth, the bit that you just did is the worst part of the whole trip. It really was shocking. I can't take the pain. Everything else we see is amazing. Oh, you wouldn't believe it. You should come back to the whole thing. See what I did there? Heritage tours, you're off here as well. There's your bus over there waiting for you. So you've got lots more touring to do. Hope you're enjoying it. Everyone else, we're out of here at about 8:30 in the morning. So if you want to be over here, normally we open up the doors about 8:15. And we've got a great little platform there. We'll get down the back, we'll help get your luggage out. The other thing you should know, if you want to hang